I do have to comment that I like that we showed up today in completely opposite outfits.
Very different vibes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh gosh, where are you going? Oh my gosh. Okay, we have officially finished phase 1 in our Rebrand series that has all of the episodes covering everything and anything we think would be helpful to someone also going through a rebrand, although more likely starting a business. So let's recap some helpful tips we covered throughout the entire series that you as an entrepreneur should be applying to your business. Let's go!
Jinx. So let's recap some of these helpful tips. Starting with number 1, you should read the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller and apply it to your business. We've said enough about this in our first episode, so I'll leave it there.
Just go watch that if you want to learn more. Number 2 is when you're going through the foundational prep work, take your time and do it right the first time. It's totally okay to circle back, take a few days with some fresh eyes, and then try and go back through it to solidify it. Just make sure that when you're done, you're really done with it.
Number 3, get third-party opinions from your network, your mentors, colleagues, friends. Get feedback early and often for your new business or as you're rebranding or growing your business.
This is also just an extra PSA. If you're an entrepreneur out there who doesn't have a business mentor, go get yourself one right now. It's so important to have 1 or 2 people who are older than you or have more work experience than you in the industry or field that you're in. And you can ask them questions. They can teach you, pass down their experience and knowledge. It's imperative that you go do this as soon as you're done watching this video. Number 4 is to bring your audience avatar to life with some visual inspo pics. It makes being able to talk about your messaging in your company so much easier when you have a visualization to refer back to. It helps you visualize it and actually see things come to life. You're bringing the vision to life. We recommend Pexels or Unsplash for free stock-like photos, or just go create a Pinterest board and go crazy.
Number 5, decide what your hedgehog concept is for your business and then go for it. Become good to great. We believe in you. And Manny believes in you.
Manny believes in you. When you're starting new or rebranding your business, just starting is better than waiting until you have everything perfect.
I heard a quote about that recently that said if you're not cringed out by your V1 or whatever you launched with, then that means you launched too late.
Dude, we promise you, we still cringe so hard at our old photos of the original website we made for our original business. It was something else. Me and Madison in blazers at our mom's house with our friend taking photos of us pointing at a laptop that's completely off. But it was better than nothing.
There was only up from there. We went and got quite a bit better from that.
No kidding.
Number 7, do not rely too heavily on AI or ChatGPT. That little note in the bottom that says, that little message at the bottom that says, we can make mistakes, check important info. That includes all legal advice. So make sure you're meeting with real humans who are experts in their field, CPAs, tax experts, etc., to get those types of questions answered.
Tip number 8, invest in a marketing mix. That means a mix of strategies and tactics, not just doing one and hoping that it works out. Remember, in today's day and age, people need a variety of touch points before they're ready to take that next step and make a decision.
Number 9, plan to build out your website content over time. We say this all the time, quality over quantity, and that's true for your website, your marketing strategies, and anything else you do as an entrepreneur.
Tip number 10, try to go with a professional for your branding and brand guidelines. Your future self will thank you later. Remember, these are the visual representations of your company. It's going to show that if you invest in your own company, how much more are you going to invest in the product or service that you provide your customers?
Okay, number tip. Tip number 11 is to take SEO serious. I think I can use that second say. Tip number 11 is to take SEO seriously. We could talk about this for hours, but we're not going to do that to you guys.
Tip number 12 is to let your creativity and passion flow through your business. Trust me, people can tell when you're passionate about it. It comes through in the way that you're talking about it and the way you're able to really capture people's attention. So just do it. Make the brand feel more like you. Don't be afraid to take that step. It's something we wish we had really listened to back in the day, so we would have always been Mad Banana.
Tip number 13 is to be careful what domain you use for your email. Try to avoid full words like marketing or advertising just to avoid any potential spam because again, we went through that. Hopefully you do not have to.
We don't want you to learn the hard way. Tip number 14 is that if you're using Google, set up a workspace right the first time. Don't leapfrog from account to account like we did. It'll really save yourself from the headache by setting it up right the first time.
Please learn from us on that one too. And a bonus tip is to document your journey. Even if you don't turn it into content, just keeping a journal is really endearing to look back on as you grow and scale your new business.
Okay, now let's get into some book recs. Since we're wrapping up phase 1, we thought we'd give you guys 3 book recs we recommend to other entrepreneurs out there. You know we love our business books, so we thought we'd give you some to add to your TBR list. Number 1 is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. We've said enough about this book already. Go get the darn book and read it. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you work in the marketing industry, it's a really helpful book for you to be able to take some of those concepts and apply it to the work that you do.
The second book on our recommendation list is Good to Great. We also mentioned this in one of our earlier episodes. There are so many concepts from this book that are really great for entrepreneurs. We mentioned the hedgehog concept and maybe mentioned the flywheel example, but they also talk about the economic denominators or level 5 leadership, and we reference that stuff all of the time. So we definitely think this one is worth the read.
A colleague of ours recommended this book, and we've already implemented some of their tips into our business. For example, when we onboard a new client, we make sure to send out a handwritten thank you note explaining how excited we are to work with them in their business and that they're joining the Mad Banana family. It just adds a level of personal touch that in today's day and age is really valued. We definitely see the value of the concepts from Giftology and think you guys would too.
And now we'll do a read skip from us. This is the vibes, in my opinion, of like Stock of the Week, Dog of the Week from the Morning Brew podcast. If you know, you know. Mine is The Creative Act. I see this in a lot of lists as like revolutionary for the way you think, but it did not do that for me. I was reading it like, okay, I don't think I'm artsy enough for it, if that makes sense. I would love to know if you've read it and agree or disagree with that one.
My book non-rec would be Niching Up. We didn't really apply anything from this book to our business. And also, I think you can be multifaceted and still be really successful, or at least some niches can be a little more vague than what I felt was implied in the book. So we're curious to hear if any of you have read any of these on the list and if you agree with our book recs and our book non-recs.
Now we'll move on to the biggest lessons we each learned during this phase. Mine is that progress is not linear. During this rebrand, it felt like we would make a lot of progress and a lot of stuff would happen and visual ground was covered and then nothing for weeks. And then the cycle would repeat itself. It kind of felt like what I imagine, at least when you're building a house and you put up the framing. And so it just suddenly feels like all of this work has been done. But then while the electrical and the plumbing gets put in, it doesn't really change that much visually from like at least standing further back. And it feels like there's not a lot of progress being made, even though there is. And it kind of felt that way during this rebrand. So just reminding ourselves that there is a lot of stuff happening in the background. We are working towards this the best that we can. We're pushing the flywheel. If you've read Good to Great, I think that was like a really good takeaway from my end.
My biggest takeaway from phase 1 is that I need to stop being worried about other people's opinions. There really needs to be no shame in our game, especially when it comes to my own business. If you are ashamed or nervous about how people are going to perceive you, you're basically keeping one foot out the door, one foot in the door. You end up capping yourself at the knees because you yourself are not your biggest champion of your business. I remember seeing a video somewhere that I literally have written on my bulletin board. You're not going to make money while being worried about what other people think of your business. Closed mouths don't get fed. So truly, you have to not only talk about it, but believe that you will be successful in your business. That's literally science. It's how the brain works. And your brain is going to try and confirm the bias that you believe, whether this be positive or negative. So don't be afraid to yap about your business, promote it everywhere, make your Instagram post all about it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's all semantics at the end of the day. You should not have any shame in your game as a business owner. People really don't care. They want to support you.
Preach. Okay, looking ahead, let's get back to the plot here. So we just finished up phase 1. That was all of the prep work. Great. We've talked about that. We recapped that. Hopefully a lot of these lessons were really applicable to you if you're going through a rebrand or if you're starting your own business. Phase 2 is going to be all of the communications, announcements, and generally kind of going public with our rebrand, which is really exciting. And then phase 3 is all of the odds and ends, some stuff that will take longer, like redoing all of the recaptchas in the new GCP console, plus some goal planning and some fun new series that you'll definitely want to stay tuned for.
Guys, we have a 5-year plan ready to go for all of the things we want to implement under the new Mad Banana name. When I say phase 3 is long, I mean we planned it out. However, we wanted to take the next episode to give you guys a little more backstory and intro to us. I promise we'll still be giving entrepreneurship lessons throughout the video, but it'll help provide some context going forward since Madison and I are a best friend business partner duo. We even gave ourselves an ultimatum that we're curious if any other business owners can relate to or have even done themselves. So stay tuned for that next episode. And as always, if you guys enjoyed phase 1 and are excited for phase 2, like this video and subscribe. We're so excited for what's to come. And as always, get mad.
Go bananas.
See that
Wisdom. Who was writing this down?
Write that down.